Chapter 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But the calm, gentle voice kept going. It finished with these words. Give Lu Peiqiang the power to control the sun and the moon, and grant him the power of a second-level destiny magician. In the International Space Station, Lu Peiqiang's pupils widened. He felt, somehow, connected to the sun and moon as seen from Earth. If he wanted to, he could completely control their rotation. And, as long as he was on Earth, he could summon Taiyin divine punishment or Taiyang divine fire to destroy enemies. As for the second-level destiny magician, that was a little hazy. It seemed to involve influencing the world through arrangements or actions, maybe by tapping into an energy node in the universe, and shaping reality to his will. And he could use it to predict the future, then change the course of events. That's a mouthful, Lu Peiqiang muttered to himself. Guess I'll hit up the chat group later and get some answers. Lieutenant Colonel Lu Peiqiang scored an unexpected bonus, the leader of the Eastern District observed, studying Lu Peiqiang intently, his eyes reflecting both joy and contemplation. Is it wise to publicize this? By the grace of God, I can control the sun and moon to a degree, Lu Peiqiang stated seriously. For example, the sunlight that reaches Earth isn't evenly distributed. That leaves the Arctic, Antarctic, and other frigid zones brutally cold, not fit for much human life. The tropics are scorching, just as uncomfortable. But going forward, if I choose, I could redistribute the excess sunlight from the tropics to those frozen regions by adjusting where the light falls. That would dramatically expand the habitable area for people. Of course, while Lu Peiqiang was being honest, he was also playing his cards close to the vest. He left out the part about being a destiny magician, and even with senior officials from other Earth Federation regions watching the video, he spoke candidly, unconcerned about future plots against him. After all, God had displayed unmatched power, and going after his earthly spokesperson was likely to provoke the divine. Plus, Lu Peiqiang's statement essentially tied him to the sun and moon themselves. Messing with him meant risking problems with those celestial bodies. After what they'd been through, no one would risk messing with the sun, even if it was just a possibility. Good. The Eastern District leader clapped, beaming. Even though the near apocalypse had forced the world's regions together into a unified federal government, that unity was born from crisis. Now that things were calming down, different regions would inevitably start jockeying for position, openly or behind the scenes. Lu Peiqiang was, first and foremost, a lieutenant colonel of Yanhuang. He had a connection to the sun, and he was a god spokesperson. That put the Yanhuang camp in a virtually unbeatable position in the struggles to come. After a few more quick pleasantries, the video call ended. Everyone present visibly relaxed. They stared at Lu Peiqiang, realizing he was now on a different level. Congratulations, Lu, Makarov said softly. I know you've always wanted Earth to meet your sun. I think you'll get your wish soon. Yeah. A hint of tenderness crossed Lu Peiqiang's face, then he chuckled. But after he gets here, I'll be starting my own journey. Lu Peiqiang had made up his mind. He would spend his life fighting for God, spreading the faith, after all, that God had done so much for him and for humanity. He'd saved him, saved the world, saved all living things, saved his child, and given humanity's children the chance to see flowers, trees, and sunshine again. Well, Makarov said, touching his nose. He hesitated, then asked a little awkwardly, Lu, you said you can control the sun and moon. Can you tell us what's going on with them as seen from Earth? Makarov couldn't contain his curiosity. God was laying down some basic laws, right? You couldn't see the sun outside the Earth, but you could inside. Where was this sun, anyway? Did the atmosphere really make that much difference? Or was this Schrödinger's sun? Lu Peiqiang looked toward Earth, squinted slightly, and chose his words carefully. How to put it, think of it as a sun. A concept. One of the astronauts murmured, still looking lost. Right, God used his power to create the concepts of Earth, sun, and moon. So the sun and moon are visible again on Earth. But ultimately, it's just something God created with divine power. Earth doesn't really have a sun and moon, as far as we're concerned. Lu Peiqiang's explanation was confusing, and most of those present were dumbfounded, but since these were astronauts, they were among the brightest people on Earth, and some soon caught on. You mean, relative? Relative to Earth, the Sun and Moon exist. But relative to us, or to things outside Earth, they don't. Damn, that was unscientific. But it was also pure myth. Makarov was speechless. After a long silence, he gave a wry smile and said, God is indeed a god. He just knocked down the cornerstone of physics. I don't know how many physicists are going to have a meltdown over this. Meltdown? I understand the importance of physics, but I think this is for the best. One of the astronauts objected seriously. Human understanding of physics might represent how far our civilization can go, but if humanity's gone, nothing else matters. No, you're missing the point. When God created this, he didn't destroy physics. He created a whole new kind of physics. Exactly. Studying the sun that doesn't exist outside Earth but does inside might just give physics a huge boost. We might be on the verge of a technological explosion. I agree, humanity's about to go through a renaissance. After every major disaster, there's a rebirth. While half listening to the discussion, Lu Peiqiang turned some of his attention to the chat group, the All-Worlds chat group. Great Qin Zulong, what happened on Mr. Lu's side, is truly astounding. Great Qin Zulong, a planet-level altar. Even with all the resources of the Great Qin Empire, it would take years to build. Yi Hei, so you didn't believe me, Yi Hei, I guess the power of industrialized civilization is too much for you feudal types to imagine. Lu Peiqiang, feudal era. Great Qin Empire. Industrialization. What's going on? Saving the world had kept Lu Peiqiang distracted. But now that he was calmer, he realized something was very strange about the chat group. Yi Hei, you weren't paying attention. Okay. You know Qin Shi Huang, Lu Peiqiang, yeah. Yi Hei, Great Qin Zulong is Qin Shi Huang. And Peach Blossom Island Young Master is from the Northern Song Dynasty. Yi Hei, wow, one from 2,000 years ago, one from 1,000 years ago, plus me from modern times. We're each separated by a millennium. Yi Hei, maybe I should count myself lucky. Lu Peiqiang, you're only a few decades after me, not 1,000 years. If you were 1,000 years in the future, we wouldn't have anything in common. Lu Peiqiang ignored Yi Hei's teasing, his mind reeling. The Great Qin Empire. Qin Shi Huang. The Eternal Emperor of Yan Huang. The Eternal Emperor is in the chat group. And someone from the Song Dynasty. This is impossible. Chapter 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Peiqiang was a huge admirer of Qin Shi Huang. Actually, just about every Chinese person has a special connection to the guy who unified the country, even if historians have trashed him as a tyrant for centuries. Yi Hei, chill out, dude. You've been in the chat group long enough. You'll get used to it. So Qin Shi Huang's here, big deal. He's just another person, right? And don't forget, we got Lord God in the group too. Lu Peiqiang. Good point. I mean, if we've got gods with that kind of power hanging around, then Qin Shi Huang being here isn't such a shock. Peach Blossom Island Young Master, crying.jpg. Figures. When we're talking about old-timey figures, Qin Shi Huang always steals the show. Great Qin Zulong, if you want attention, just do what the moon worship leader did. Become a queen. Great Qin Zulong, anyway, in your time, you guys had a real empress back in 1933, right? Wu Zetian of the Tang Dynasty. Moon worshipping leader. Moon worshipping leader, I was just wondering, since Mr. Lu Peiqiang is online, does that mean his world's problems are solved? Lu Peiqiang, yup. Thanks to God. Lu Peiqiang, from this day forward, I'm a devout believer in God. I'll dedicate my life to spreading the word, so all 4 billion people on earth believe in God. Great Qin Zulong. 4 billion. Whoa. Can the earth even feed that many? Ye hey, it's not that much. Where I'm from, the population's hit 7 billion. Ye hey, guess the disaster took out a bunch of people. Moon-worshipping leader, Mr. Lu Peiqiang, can you upload the video? Moon-worshipping cult leader, a few group members before you uploaded videos of them receiving divine grace. Moon-worshipping cult leader, I think those videos, they really show God's power. God's mercy. It helps the group believe. Most powerful man's deputy, true enough, but coming from you, it just sounds kinda sus. Moon-worshipping cult leader, the most powerful man's deputy, moon-worship leader, video of you receiving divine favor, 0. Moon-worshipping leader. Ye hey, low blow, man. I ain't gonna kick you when you're down. Manual funny.jpg. Lu Peiqiang, upload a video. How do I do that? I haven't exactly been filming myself. Ye hey, let me walk you through it. Hit the upload button, then pick the memory you want to share. Boom, you're done. Lu Peiqiang. Is it really that easy? Ding. Lu Peiqiang uploaded a video, please download to watch. Suhan clicked download to, watching with a grin as the download count jumped to 9. Looks like Immortal Miaomu Mountain downloaded it too, Suhan murmured. Collecting intel, cause he hasn't been talking. Classic. He shook his head and settled in to watch the video. Gotta be interesting seeing myself from another angle. Naruto World, Mount Myoki, the gray-haired Jiraiya looked grim. Perched on his shoulders were Fukasaku Sage and Shima Sage. Old man, you seeing anything weird? Shima Sennin frowned, staring intently at Fukasaku Sennin on the other shoulder. Nope. Fukasaku Sage's eyes narrowed. Little Jiraiya's chakra flow is perfectly normal. Genjutsu just messes with chakra to screw with your mind and make you hallucinate. This ain't like that. Jiraiya looked even heavier, saying nothing, his mind racing. Not long ago, he'd found a strange interface popping up in his head, and someone seemed to be chatting on it. His first thought was it was an illusion, but even after Jiraiya tried to break it, the image never went away. Alarmed, he came straight back to Mount Myoki and asked the two sages for help. Even the two sages are stumped. Jiraiya muttered to himself. Suddenly, a video file appeared in the chat group. He clicked it in his mind without thinking, and saw it start downloading. What the heck is this? Jiraiya was floored. Once the download finished, the video started playing automatically. It showed endless space, with a planet right there in front. Huh? Jiraiya's eyes widened. Where is this place? That sphere, is that sphere? Hold up, that light in the distance, is that the sun? Right. But if that's the sun, then is that sphere? Jiraiya's mind was sharp. He'd traveled the world, after all, and he wasn't just collecting material for his novels. He was gathering intel. A good spy needs guts, resourcefulness, and a quick mind. It's all part of the job. Even though Jiraiya didn't want to believe it, he had a feeling that huge blue ball was probably the world he was standing on. Then, Lu Peiqiang showed a scene of the earth as it was now, endless land, covered in frost, nothing but snowflakes as far as the eye could see, bleak, worse than the land of snow he'd visited. A calm voice explained. Lu Peiqiang's voice. He described the situation on Earth. The sun was dying, about to explode, and the whole planet was becoming uninhabitable. To survive, the highest authorities in the Federation decided to escape with the Earth. A desperate gamble. Maybe the Earth would break apart before leaving the solar system, or maybe, after escaping, the Earth would collide with an asteroid on its 1,000-year journey, wiping out civilization. Anything could happen, and the turning point was God. Using the entire Earth as an altar, they focused nearly all of human power, hundreds of millions chanting the sacrificial hymn, calling on the mighty God to save the world. Endless heavens appeared, the sun drawing closer and transforming into a divine bird. Together with the moon rabbit, it entered the endless sacred palace. Then, God acted. He created the sun and moon with his bare hands, bringing warmth and light to the world. He used his divine power to nurture the earth. The frozen planet thawed, and lush plants and trees grew fast enough to see. The warm sunlight shone on the earth. Finally, the video ended. The next moment, Jiraiya opened his eyes, his face blank. What hadn't he seen? He'd been in great ninja wars, fought to the death against unbeatable foes like the demigod Sancho Hanzo. He thought he could stay cool no matter what. But reality hit him hard. Holy crap, this is insane. Old man, check him out. Something's up with little Jiraiya. Shima Senin's voice was panicked. What? Fukasaku Sennin jumped in front of Jiraiya, examining him. His expression turned serious. Something's definitely wrong, but we're clueless. Can't even find the problem. What now? There's only one thing to do. Fukasaku Sennin gritted his teeth. Little Jiraiya, forgive me, that he leaped forward and started slapping Jiraiya's face as hard as he could. Chapter 63. You are listening at newcomers. Not long after, Jiraiya, sporting a swollen face, went to see the great toad sage. Fukasaku, perched on Jiraiya's left shoulder, kept apologizing. Sorry, Jiraiya. I was just really worried something might happen to you. That's why I did that. Physical attacks are the best way to break illusions, besides removing chakra disruptions. I didn't realize you were just daydreaming. You're not mad at me, are you? Fine, Jiraiya relented. What else could he say? Of course, he forgave him. Reaching the great toad sage, Jiraiya sat down, crossing his legs. He looked at the sage seriously and said, Great sage, I'm here because I have something important to ask. Ask away. The great toad sage rumbled. Is the world we live in a sphere? Jiraiya asked, earnest. A glint appeared in the great toad sage's eyes. After a moment, he answered solemnly, yes. A sphere so enormous words can barely describe it. Go to the beach and watch ships returning from afar. You'll see the sail first, and then gradually the entire ship. That's the proof. Jiraiya took a deep breath. He seemed to have released something, yet he also seemed to have gained a new worry. I understand, Jiraiya said, looking down. Great sage, I only have one question now. Does God exist in this world? That the great toad sage's expression didn't change, but he was surprised. The question caught him off guard. He pondered, then replied, God. If you believe he exists, then he does. For instance, the sage of 6 paths from ancient times founded the ninja sect and wielded power that could destroy the world. Would you call him God? Could the sage of 6 paths turn the sun into a divine bird? Jiraiya asked seriously. No. If the world were encased in endless ice, could the sage of 6 paths melt it instantly, causing flowers to bloom everywhere in a few breaths? The great toad sage remained silent. Are you trying to stump the sage of 6 paths? Star. I understand. Jiraiya said softly. He looked intently at the great toad sage. Now, please continue to watch my future. Huh. The great toad sage's bushy eyebrows twitched. Jiraiya closed his eyes and began to chant loudly. Jiraiya was using the top-tier summoning ritual. After watching the video uploaded by Liu Peiqiang, he downloaded the impressive ritual from the video. In the realm of gods, Su Han had also finished watching the video, a look of amusement on his face. He hadn't realized Liu Peiqiang had a knack for this. Watching the video, Su Han felt like he was watching Wandering Earth 2.0. Although it was shorter, the quality was as good as the original Wandering Earth, especially the special effects. The scene of the sunset and blooming flowers was fantastic. I watched it myself, and I, even as a god, felt a strong urge to believe in God. Liu Peiqiang is a talented guy. Suddenly, Su Han's eyebrows shot up as he sensed a brand new world coordinate. This location is, Naruto. Interesting. A smile played on Su Han's lips. He'd just been praising Liu Peiqiang, and now a big fish had taken the bait. As Jiraiya spoke the last word, his body trembled. He seemed to see an indescribably vast and majestic God. This God was one, whole, yin and yang, everything. He stood there quietly, chaos naturally evolving around him, worlds being created, and creatures evolving naturally. Then, he opened his eyes, the sun in his left eye and the moon in his right. Jiraiya trembled, feeling his chakra increasing. It was unbelievable. After all his training, his chakra had reached its limit, but after just reciting the ritual once, the obstacle shattered like a bubble. Ahem, cough. The great toad sage coughed violently, spitting out blood, his expression turning instantly bleak. Great sage! Sage! Fukasaku and Shima gasped. They rushed to support him, their faces filled with panic. I'm fine, just let it be. After a moment, the great toad sage regained his breath. He looked weakly at Jiraiya, who was sitting on the ground. Jiraiya understood and lowered his head with a wry smile. I'm very sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for. I should congratulate you, the great toad sage said, his voice faltering. This prophecy. I didn't see anything. Perhaps because I saw nothing, I've survived this long. Fukasaku and Shima's pupils dilated. They wanted to say something, but no words came. As the great toad sage's breathing slowed, he added, the only thing I can be sure of is, you still have a chance to change the world. But it's different from the last prophecy. This time, it might not be you leading the children of destiny, but you yourself, who changes the world. Is that so? Jiraiya was silent for a long moment. He rose and bowed slightly to the great toad sage. I understand. Thank you for your prophecy. After Jiraiya left, Fukasaku jumped in front of the great toad sage. You said before that you didn't see anything, great sage. So why did you make another prophecy? Fukasaku was incoherent. This is not a prophecy. The great toad sage said softly. It's just an inference made by an old man based on his life experience. What? Fukasaku was stunned. Jiraiya is walking a path that has never been walked before, the great toad sage said faintly, as if talking to himself. When this path reaches its end, will it be a gift from the gods or a gift from the devil? It's hard to say. Yes, it was just an inference, he could see some secrets even about the Sage of Six Paths. But when Jiraiya recited the summoning incantation, he glanced at it, saw nothing, and lost half of his lifespan. What did that prove? It proved that the change Jiraiya was undergoing surpassed the Sage of Six Paths. And by a long shot. Considering the metaphors Jiraiya had used about the gods exerting their power, it was terrifying to think about. By the way, whatever happens to me, don't blame Jiraiya. Suddenly remembering something, the great toad sage added, immediately, his body twitched, and he collapsed. Great toad sage. The two sages panicked. When the news spread, panic engulfed Mount Myaboku. Jiraiya, who had left Mount Myaboku, didn't know what had happened there. He returned to the inn, stayed for a while, and after much deliberation, finally decided to enter the chat group again. Chapter 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Great Qin Ancestral Dragon, I turned the sun into a three-legged golden crow, and the moon into a lunar rabbit. I am a mighty god. Ye hey, my god is mighty +1. Hey, Lu Peiqiang, you're positive your world is all tech? No crazy superpowers at all. Lu Peiqiang, absolutely positive, seriously. Look at what happened to my world. It almost got destroyed. If there were any immortals, they would have jumped in to help. They'd have released some kind of training techniques to boost our physical strength, even if it was just to help us survive the apocalypse. The authorities would have made it public, for sure. Ye hey, that's wild. So your world's purely science-based, meaning the sun and moon were just ordinary celestial bodies, and God turned them into that? That's some straight-up divine intervention. Ye hey took a breath. He'd read tons of stories where ancient beings would randomly give sentience to animals or plants, but this was the first time he'd heard of the sun and moon getting the treatment. Peach Blossom Island kid, okay, the scene is pretty epic, but considering God was willing to give you the power to blow up the moon and level you up instantly, doing this doesn't seem too out there, right? Yihei, huh, Lu Peiqiang, huh, great Qin ancestral dragon, is there a problem? Yingzheng sounded confused. He seemed to be on board with it. Yihei, big problem. Do you have any idea what the sun is? It's the sun, Yihei, the moon's only about 1/80th the mass of Earth. The sun, on the other hand, is over 330,000 times bigger than Earth. The chat group went silent. Huafei, the moon worship cult leader, a major science advocate, suddenly spoke up, pupils wide. His voice was strained, like he was squeezing the words out. It's actually that much bigger. He was spooked, because he loved science and research. He understood that multiplying the Earth's mass by 33 was an absolutely bonkers amount. Strongest man's right hand, my God is unbeatable. Peach Blossom Island kid, after thinking about it, I'm speechless. My mind is blown. Hey, Lu Peiqiang, since God has just reimagined the sun and moon, can you just forget about the wandering Earth plan? Hey, actually, scratch that. The sun's gone from the solar system. The gravity's gonna be all messed up. Who knows if Earth can stay in its orbit? Hey, and if you're unlucky, you might collide with other planets that have gone off course. Are you still going with the wandering Earth plan? Lu Peiqiang, no way. The solar system's gravitational pull is gone crazy. What does that have to do with us? God's protecting us. Everything on Earth is exactly the same as before. Lu Peiqiang, don't ask me how, because I have no clue. Science is dead. Hail God. JPG. Yihei, that's super unscientific, but hey, it's magic. Lu Peiqiang, look, we can develop just fine for a while. But we need to keep pushing science. And spreading the word about God. Lu Peiqiang, we need to get into space ASAP. That way, even if what Yihei said happens and we're about to collide with other planets, we can do a large-scale space migration. Lu Peiqiang, as for spreading the word about God, that's even more important than developing the economy and technology. Emotionally, God saved us all, so we should worship Him. Logically, we might need to ask God for help again in the future. Yao Lao. Moon worship leader, you really believe that? I think your self-serving attitude might piss off people who love God. Strongest man's right hand, what's irritating about that? Haven't you realized God doesn't care whether you fear Him or not? Strongest man's right hand, or do you think your sacrifices are enough to earn God's favor? Peach Blossom Island kid. Great Qin ancestral dragon, speechless. Su Han watched the chat and nodded seriously, yep, you're all right. You made out like bandits, and he lost big time. He lost so much that he moved into paradise. Meanwhile, Jiraiya's expression changed a bunch of times. He couldn't understand a lot of the chat, but he could roughly piece it together by guessing. After understanding, he started questioning life again. Did he even have it right? Did he misread something? Earth, is that the planet we're on? If that's the case, then the sun, is that huge? Jiraiya went to the window and looked up at the sun, feeling conflicted. Directly enlighten the sun, which was destroyed, conceptually creating a new sun and moon. They say the sage of 6 paths made the moon, but the gap between him and this mysterious God is bigger than words can express. The difference between the sage of 6 paths and God was fundamental. It wasn't just about power, but the way they used it. God's power. As he thought, Jiraiya felt overwhelmed and sent a message to the chat. Mount Mayaboku sage. Hello everyone, I'm Jiraiya, the sage of Mt Mayaboku. You can call me Toad Sage. I'm a ninja, and I like writing novels and traveling. Nice to meet you all. Peach Blossom Island kid, welcome, welcome. You're an immortal, but wait, a ninja immortal. What's a ninja? Yao Lao. Lu Peiqiang, from Japan. Japan was heavily influenced by China. I guess it makes sense they call their strong people immortals, right? Yihei. Yihei, I got a lot of info from my world. Trust me, if you came to my world and called yourself an immortal, a ton of powerful people would come and beat you to death. Okay, they'd probably crush you. Yi-Hei had a headache. The word immortal had a completely different meaning in his world. It could even drive the legendary ancient emperors at the top crazy, strongest man's right hand. Peach Blossom Island Kid, Lu Peiqiang, is it that scary? Scared. JPG, Mount Mayaboku Sage. Yi-Hei, I don't mean anything by it. Different worlds, different rules. You do you, immortal. Ahem. Mount Mayaboku Sage, thanks for understanding. Mount Mayaboku Sage, I prayed to God earlier and instantly broke through my bottleneck. At God, thank you for your grace. When I visualized your grand figure, I was truly in awe. Great Qin Ancestral Dragon. Righteousness. Peach Blossom Island Kid, that's scary. I hope this little thing doesn't bother the gods. God, no problem. Yao Lao, perhaps our greatest luck is meeting God, a God who's super friendly and cares for his followers. Yao Lao, well. I won't say any more for now. Gotta log off. If all goes well, soon there'll be a ton more people believing in God around here. Yao Lao, God of creation, please protect me and keep me safe and prosperous. Yi-Hei, please God protect you and help God spread your faith, makes me a little dizzy. Chapter 65. You are listening at newcomers. Moon Worshipper, I'm curious about Lu Peiqiang's reward, something about harnessing the sun and moon. He covered it in the video. But a second-level Destiny Magician. Yi-Hei, yeah, I'm intrigued too. Lu Peiqiang, well. Lu Peiqiang hesitated. He hadn't really explained how it worked in the real world. Why would he elaborate in the chat group? Maybe he should drop it, but he got the opportunity to worship God because of this. With the chat group as the bridge, it felt wrong to dodge the question. Yi-Hei, actually. I get where you're coming from. Yi-Hei, the Destiny Magician class is in the group's files under Divine Powers. I'm even trying to level up on that skill tree. Yi-Hei, I'm still pretty green in the Destiny Magician stuff. So seeing you at level 2 is pretty exciting. Lu Peiqiang, I see. Lu Peiqiang, good to know. I'll share some insights, hope it helps. Finally understanding, Lu Peiqiang gathered his thoughts and began typing. Lu Peiqiang, second-level Destiny Magician, hard to say how powerful it is, but the main perks are predicting misfortune, seeing the future, altering fate, and manipulating spiritual veins. That's what I can do now. Higher levels probably unlock more stuff. Yi-Hei, sounds intense, crazy powerful. Lu Peiqiang, predicting misfortune and the future is pretty self-explanatory. You burn some energy to foresee danger, even glimpse future events. Lu Peiqiang, altering fate is about hijacking destiny. Say you foresee your death. You can redirect that death to someone else. Great Qin Zulong, the strongest man's deputy, seriously, Myo Mushin immortal, that's nuts. I thought God was just the world's creator. Didn't realize destiny manipulation was their thing. Great Qin Zulong. The strongest man's deputy, but this Destiny Magician class, its authority comes from God's creation authority. Alchemists come from creation authority, mystics from destruction. They each have their root. Myo Mushin immortal, okay, forget I said anything. Jiraiya twitched, looking embarrassed. Peach Blossom Island young master, sweet. That's some serious trickery. Peach Blossom Island young master, now I'm tempted to make it my side hustle. Moon Worshipper, isn't it about ability rather than, like, being evil? The Moon Worshipper trailed off. Yi-Hei, and finally, spiritual vein manipulation. Yi-Hei frowned. The first 3 abilities were cool, especially swapping your fate with someone else's, but it depended on the context. An alchemist can create anything. A mystic can destroy worlds at their peak. Compared to that, destiny magic seemed underwhelming. Lu Peiqiang, it's like making a formation map. If I went back to Earth, I could reshape the ley lines under some mountains, permanently changing the climate, gathering energy for attacks, or even making people get lost. Lu Peiqiang, the catch is, regular mountains give limited energy. But famous mountains, especially ones with hidden ley lines, are a whole different story. Attack power goes through the roof. Lu Peiqiang, with my skills plus the second-level knowledge, I could even use scattered planets as nodes to make a star chart. And use that to my advantage. Moon Worshipper. Yao Lao, that's terrifying. Yi Hei, how much destructive power can one of those star charts unleash? Yi Hei clicked his tongue. He realized this could be a huge advantage, Lu Peiqiang, a lot. Planet-busting level. That's my current limit, but theoretically, at higher levels, it's even more insane. A whole galaxy, for instance. Lu Peiqiang, it mentioned briefly that, at the peak, Destiny magicians can stack different worlds to create multidimensional killing zones. Lu Peiqiang, they also don't just glimpse the future. They can play with the flow of time itself. Yi Hei, whoa, Great Qin Zulong. Myo Mushin immortal, too much power. I want in, that the strongest man's deputy, check out the other options first, in theory, other specializations are just as OP as Destiny magic. Lu Peiqiang. Seriously, Lu Peiqiang, God is eternal, Moon Worshipper, I'm wondering, if these jobs have such an absurd upper limit, does that mean God has believers who are that powerful? Yao Lao. Peach Blossom Island Young Master. Great Qin Zulong, what are you getting at? Moon Worshipper, if God has followers with that level of power, how insane is God's own power? Yao Lao. Lu Peiqiang, duh. You said yourself God was bored, hence the invite to the chat group. When does someone get bored? When they're too powerful and lack challenge. Lu Peiqiang, a being like God probably had hundreds of millions of super powerful followers before the chat group. That's normal. Su Han twitched, damn star. This group was relentless. The bragging was almost embarrassing. Yi Hei, true that. Yi Hei, speaking of which, Lu Peiqiang, it just hit me. Yi Hei, remember you were worried about losing the solar system and planets messing up orbit and crashing into Earth? Yi Hei, why not learn this stuff now? Use the solar system planets to build your star chart. Lu Peiqiang, damn, that makes sense. Lu Peiqiang, gotta prep for this now. Later, Su Han watched the chat, thoughts racing. I've got a few faith farms now. Qin Shi Mingyue, One Piece, and the Wandering Earth. Wandering Earth pulls in the most every day. Makes sense with their population base. Yi Hei, Huang Rong, and the Moon Worshipper are slacking. Su Han frowned. Time for an event to get those numbers up. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Han's eyes darted around as he came to a quick decision. He stepped forward silently, landing right next to the wisdom Bodhi tree at the bottom of the heavens. He tapped the tree's branches, whispering, "Here are some fruits." This Bodhi tree had a massive harvest after the last lunar and solar flowers fell. It even started to ripen and bear fruit, probably a few thousand ripe ones. And there are at least 100,000 more still growing. No matter the quantity, the effect of the wisdom Bodhi fruit is insane. First off, its effects blow away any immortality medicine. The one hand covers the sky elixir only works once, then grants you a new life, but the wisdom Bodhi fruit. Taking one extends your life by 10,000 years, regardless of who you are, commoner or ancient emperor. Plus, you can keep eating them. Sure, that one hand covers the sky effect is nice, but it's not all that impressive compared to everything else it does. Yingzheng also got a 10,000-year life extension from Su Han. The real kicker is that swallowing a wisdom Bodhi fruit permanently boosts your comprehension by 50% and puts you in a state of enlightenment for half an hour. The second one increases your understanding by another 40% and triggers another half-hour enlightenment, and so on. You can eat 5 of them like that. The sixth won't improve your understanding any further. Even if it doesn't permanently increase your understanding, it still throws you into that enlightening state. the wisdom Bodhi tree's trunk swayed gently, and hundreds of wisdom Bodhi fruits rained down, an unseen force floated them right in front of Suhan. Hey! I said just a few. Suhan didn't know whether to laugh or cry but collected most of them anyway. Next up, Suhan said, raising an eyebrow and reaching out casually. Suddenly, a lake miles away started trembling violently. Half the water shot skyward, shrinking until it was cupped in Suhan's palm. Suhan released all the third-grade exotic beasts trapped in the lake. Then, he refined some white jade from a jade mine in the divine realm, crafted a jade bottle, and poured all that water from half the lake into it. This stuff is gonna drive people wild, Suhan said, a smirk playing on his lips. Suhan's divine realm is full of lakes. Like the one he just partially drained, there are probably millions in the vast space, and new ones are being created all the time. Just because there are so many lakes doesn't mean they're worthless. Early on, the lakes were just lake cards Suhan bought elsewhere. The water quality was decent, safe enough for mortals to drink, but later, Qin Shi Huang made sacrifices to Tianqing, and the bull python took up residence in the divine realm. This was a holy beast. It instantly transformed the lake water into a divine spring of life, capable of healing wounds and extending life. After the divine realm underwent several more transformations, the concentration of spiritual energy skyrocketed. Now, all the water flowing into these lakes is condensed spiritual energy in liquid form, so, this bottle of water is basically a holy elixir for cultivation. It can also be used to heal injuries, making it incredibly valuable. Alright, Suhan mused, picking a few random blades of grass from the lawn and grabbing a few 10,000-year-old medicine kings. With everything ready, he typed a message in the chat group for Hishan: if you're slacking on your training, you're never gonna get stronger. I've decided to launch a missionary drive. Suhan continued, tomorrow, do your best to spread the faith and get as many people, especially powerful ones, to believe in me. Then, as long as you receive divine grace, you'll get a gift from me. A cool prize. God. First place gets 100 million tons of divine spring of life and a wisdom fruit. Second place gets a wisdom fruit and a 50,000-year-old medicine king. Third place gets a 10,000 years medicine king and 3 tons of spiritual grass. Suhan had an idea and uploaded all the details about the rewards. Ding! God uploaded detailed explanation of prizes. The chat group went silent for a moment. Everyone downloaded the file instantly, their eyes widening as they read the detailed descriptions. Yi Hei, 100 million tons of divine spring of life. This divine spring is the divine water condensed by immortal energy. It can be used as a sacred object for practice. At the same time, it is blessed by the holy beast and has the effect of healing injuries and prolonging life. Yi Hei. Yi Hei, I get it, but 100 million tons, that's insane. Yi Hei swallowed hard. The top prize was incredibly tempting. He knew that his physique was the ancient holy body, also known as the abandoned body. This type of physique requires enormous resources to cultivate. And once you reach a certain level, you're punished by the heavens, cutting off your future. Fortunately, Yi Hei could now physically defeat kings. In Beidou, there weren't many who could match him, but he still worked hard to collect the divine source. He even deliberately set traps to attract others to rob him, then kill them and take theirs. He started doing it. Damn it, if he had those billion tons of divine spring of life, he'd probably be able to cultivate to the realm of a sage. I want God's reward, Yi Hei declared, sitting as a guest inside Lingtian cave. Before him, a group of Dongtian elders looked terrified, worshipping him like their ancestor. Getting excited, Yi Hei slammed his hand on the table, leaving a clear palm print on the stone. Everyone trembled in fear, not daring to say a word. Opening his eyes, Yi Hei paused for a moment and got straight to the point. I have a sacrificial method here. As long as you recite it and offer it to God, you'll get feedback on your cultivation. Make yourself stronger. I need you to spread it as quickly as possible. Get as many people as possible to worship the gods. In one day. I need as many people as possible to worship God in this one day. Let's say the entire eastern wilderness, or at least 1/10 of the mortals in the eastern wilderness, believe in God. Can you do that? That the elders were crying and nodding as if their parents had just died. Could they do it? How could they possibly do it? Did he know how big Donghuang was? And he wanted 1/10 of it. They were the highest level of the Taoist palace realm. These little pieces of garbage couldn't even fly out of the eastern wasteland in decades, and he wanted them to spread the faith to 1/10 of it in one day, and, had he thought about how to deal with the Holy Land families in the eastern wilderness? Though they cursed in their hearts, Yi Hei's fist was too strong. They didn't have the courage to say a word. Good, Yi Hei said with satisfaction, seeing that the people below were full of confidence, though he couldn't say for sure. He thought he could be considered a strong contender for first place, right? After all, the world of Beidou was so vast, filled with ordinary people and cultivators. Leader of the moon-worshipping cult, I only care about the wisdom fruit. You worshipping cult master, prolong life for thousands of years, permanently increase understanding, and fall into enlightenment in a short period of time. This thing is priceless. I even suspect that if it were placed in the fairy world or the demon world, it would cause a bloodbath. No, it would definitely cause a bloodbath. Lu Peiqiang, it's a divine thing. Lu Peiqiang was also moved. He clenched his fists, an intense light shining in his eyes. He also had hope. After all, God's salvation had left a deep mark on the hearts of everyone in the world. More importantly, they were an information society, capable of disseminating information extremely quickly. A stark contrast to the others who were still stuck in the feudal era, or even extraordinary civilizations. If I could get 100 million tons of divine spring, then get a practice technique from someone else in the group, I might be able to turn all the people of Yanhuang into cultivators. Lu Peiqiang exhaled deeply, longing shining in his eyes. In this way, a future where everyone is like a dragon will be created. Even if there's another catastrophe in the future, we, the Yanhuang people, will be able to survive to the greatest extent because we'll be cultivators. As for me, I just need to get a little more divine spring, and finally eat the wisdom fruit, so I can become the best cultivator among Yanhuang in the future. As a lieutenant colonel trained by Yan and Huang, Lu Peiqiang's thinking was fundamentally different from everyone else. He didn't just want to achieve enlightenment himself. He wanted the Yan and Huang national fortunes to prosper and the civilization to thrive forever. Chapter 67. You are listening at newcomers. The strongest man's deputy, looks like I gotta hustle too. The strongest man's deputy, thing is, our world ain't exactly a super-connected, high-tech one. Communication's a pain. We got bugs, but can't exactly hand 'em out like candy. Slows down the whole spreading the faith thing. The strongest man's deputy, I'm not even aiming for first this time. Second's a long shot, but I can still try and snag third. Marco's eyes were glued to the third-place prize, the 10,000 years medicine king. If he could get his hands on that, his dad could kick back and add 3 centuries to his life. Even though the big shots in their world love to flatten cities, they still clock out the same as everyone else. 300 years. That's straight up miraculous. Plus, those tons of spiritual herbs are like holy grail level stuff. Marco clenched his fists. What the 10,000 years hockey did for me is insane. I can practically dish out shock fruit effects even without the actual fruit, and it's even stronger. Problem is, I'm too OP for this world. If I want to level up, I gotta go hard on Jingdao. And with these resources, Jingdao, no matter how advanced it is to practice, should be a breeze to start, right? Great Qin Zulong, guess I'm SOL. Young master of Peach Blossom Island, mood. There's nothing we can do about this. There are too few people in our world. The entire country on my side only has a few tens of millions of people. The population on Qin Shihuang's side is even smaller than that on my side. Huang Rong felt inferior. Seeing Lu Peiqiang, Yi Hei has a population of several billion. Then look at her own population of tens of millions, even if she spreads the power of faith all over the world, so what? There is no comparison at all. On. Yi hey, yi hey, wait a sec, just checked the books. Northern Song Dynasty had 120 million. The young master of Taohua Island, so, you're saying it's Southern Song, right, yi hey? Then why didn't you say anything earlier, that the young master of Peach Blossom Island? Honestly, I was lost at first. Southern and Northern Song are both Song Dynasty. And that whole AD thing messes with my head, makes me dizzy. The young master of Peach Blossom Island, but then it hit me, the split's based on the Song Dynasty hauling tail south. Makes sense now, I'm Southern Song. Yi hey, alright. Great Chin Zulong, yeah, can't stand that AD system myself. Yi hey, well, the Yanhuang stuff came from the West. After so much humiliation in modern times, he was about to be beaten. Progress can only come from learning. Yi hey, that's why I'm banking on you guys hitting up the West in your eras. Can't change history here, but it'd be a real comfort. Great Chin Zulong, you got it. Yao Lao, gotta grind. Later, everyone. Do Chi World, Canaan Empire, Gama City, Yao Lao bounced from the chat, buzzing with excitement. He couldn't stop picturing those rewards. Spread the word, spread the word. Yao Lao shot up and started pacing, brain firing on all cylinders. First, take Canaan Empire, make everyone worship. Nah, too slow. Not gonna keep up with Lu Peiqiang and Yi He that way. Yao Lao shot down idea after idea. One day. Not enough time, a bigger plan needs more than a day, like taking Canaan Empire. Cool, but then you gotta run the place, plan everything out, and the competition is in a single day. The day lilies are cold. Got it. Hold up. Yao Lao stopped dead. Something clicked. If I could get that family to help. He was thinking of the ancient clan, Yao Lao's from the Yao clan, one of the big 8, but childhood sucked there. No love lost, the ancient clan, with their girl emperor on the throne, they're bound to be getting feedback. Guys are gonna show up soon. And if he plays his cards right, he can get the whole tribe believing in God. The ancient clan lives in the ancient world. After endless years of development, its size itself is comparable to that of an extremely powerful country, not to mention, the ancient tribe also has extremely terrifying forces. I don't know how many countries in the Dochi continent are involved with the ancient clan. If everyone in their sphere believes, he's not just aiming for top 3, he's got a shot at number 1. Gotta find the ancient clan. No. I need to work them over a bit. No. I am not strong enough, so I can only wait for them to come to the door first, and then raise my profile a little higher. If it is too easy to get, they will never cherish it. Nor will he be eager to preach. Yao Lao stewed for a while, then sighed and sat down, legs crossed. That's it. Play the waiting game. If the ancient clan shows up early, I'll give it a shot. If they're late to the party, forget it. Decided, Yao Lao relaxed, closed his eyes, and got to work on Qi Dao and Shinto, his souls at peak holy realm. Next step. Emperor's realm, but that takes way longer than a day. He can't do that in one day, but practicing Shinto, by the way, recite the sacrificial inscriptions to worship God. Okay. Shinto can still get him stronger, even if he's topped out. Theoretically, that's not to say Yao Lao is breaking through to Emperor Soul right now. He is just growing in pure energy. Knock, knock, knock. Yao Lao frowned, waved a sleeve, and the door swung open. Ling Huang stood there. What's up? Yao Lao raised an eyebrow. Our clan leader will be here in 10 minutes. Come meet him. Ling Huang said, respectful as could be. Yao Lao's eyebrows shot up. 10 minutes since God sent the chat message. There's hope, he has a great hope of winning the championship. No. First. Calm down, don't be too impatient. Everything is going according to the previous plan. Yao Lao took a few deep breaths and then managed to regain his composure. Seeing that Yao Lao remained silent, Ling Huang immediately felt strange. When he was about to ask, Yao Lao suddenly said coldly, "Meet the clan leader." "Huh, why should I go to see the leader of your ancient clan?" Chapter 68. You are listening at newcomers. Whoa, this? Ling Huang stammered, caught completely off guard. He'd imagined all sorts of reactions from Yao Lao before knocking, but this was beyond anything he'd considered. "You have to understand," Yao Lao said, his voice filled with reverence, his gaze fixed upwards. "Before the divine, the ancient clan is nothing. And the divine blessed your clan with an emperor, a monumental gift." He respectfully cupped his hands towards the sky. "I may be insignificant to the gods above, but I am their voice in this world." He paused, then turned to Ling Huang, speaking with deliberate emphasis, "Therefore, I bow to no one. This isn't about my pride, but about defending the glory of the divine. You may leave. If the ancient clan sincerely wishes to join our faith, let their leader come and show their respect. If they are not genuine, then you and everyone in the clan should go." With a flick of his mind, the door slammed shut. Ling Huang was completely disoriented, sweat beading on his forehead. He sensed a major crisis brewing. Because he was a member of the ancient clan, he knew their arrogance all too well. Telling them Yao Lao's reaction truthfully would likely enrage them beyond reason. Under normal circumstances, the ancient clan, despite their pride, would still be sensible, but now, the young lady had ascended, gone, as Sunur's guard, his standing in the clan was insignificant. He wouldn't dare voice his concerns to the clan elders. After a moment of internal struggle, Ling Huang gritted his teeth, soared into the sky, and landed directly above the restaurant. This was the only way forward. The air shimmered as he created a spatial rift. Several figures dressed in white stepped through the rift. Leading them was Gu Tianyuan in green robes, followed by the 3 Tianqing elders, the most powerful figures in the ancient clan after Gu Tianyuan. Clan leader. Supreme elders. Ling Huang bowed deeply. "No need," Gu Tianyuan said with a gentle smile, casting an approving glance at Ling Huang. "You've reached the zone level. It seems the recent changes have been beneficial." He then looked around, a hint of confusion in his eyes. "Where's Sunur, by the way?" Ling Huang trembled. He hesitated, then blurted out, "The young miss, she's left the Doqi world." "What?" The first elder of Tianqing's expression hardened instantly, a wave of oppressive energy washing over Ling Huang. "You'd better be sure of what you're saying," the second elder said, his brow furrowed. "Left the world? Abducted? Impossible. Anything happening to her would have triggered the patriarch's failsafe measure." The third elder remained silent, a strange look on his face as he glanced at Gu Tianyuan. The clan leader didn't seem angry or worried. Instead, his expression was a bizarre mix of wanting to cry and wanting to laugh. After a long pause, Gu Tianyuan took a deep breath, breaking the silence. Did Sunur become an emperor? He'd suspected it before, but couldn't be sure. Seeing Ling Huang's demeanor now, he felt more confident. Still, despite his suspicions, he was curious as to what had happened. How could Sunur suddenly ascend into a being like that? This made no sense. Silence hung heavy in the air, followed by a collective gasp. "What? Impossible. I admit Sunur's incredibly talented and possesses an extremely high concentration of blood. And it is expected that she will become the owner of a god-level bloodline once she gets older, but becoming an emperor is on a whole other level. Even if the patriarch claimed you would become an emperor, I wouldn't believe it." "I don't understand it either," Gu Tianyuan said, rubbing his temples wearily. "Ling Huang, explain everything." Ling Huang felt the pressure lift, and he shot Gu Tianyuan a grateful look. He gathered his thoughts and recounted the events, starting with Yao Lao's arrival, Sunur's willingness to become a sacrifice, the construction of the altar, and the prayer to the divine. He described the blessing, Sunur's sudden rise to sainthood, the gift from the divine, and her final step onto the throne. As he finished, the faces of the four elders grew strange, and they exchanged bewildered glances. Ling Huang's understanding was limited, but these men, the most powerful in the world, could piece things together. They began to form a picture of what had transpired. That divine definitely doesn't reside in this world. Perhaps it's from the world our ancient race's emperor ancestors ascended to, Gu Tianyuan said softly, trying to contain his excitement. And that divine must be in existence far beyond anything we can imagine. To create an emperor with such ease. It's impossible to comprehend the true scope of his power. Eyes open for day, eyes closed for night, perhaps this is the true divine. Utterly shocking and inspiring. That gift that allowed Suner to ascend, it must be the legendary primal emperor energy. The more they discussed, the more awestruck they became. What are you standing around for? Gu Tianyuan asked, his eyes burning into Ling Huang. Take us to meet the divine envoy immediately. Huh? Ling Huang was dumbfounded. But Yao Danshan is only at the first level of sainthood. Gu Tianyuan and the three Tianqing elders were either high-level saints or at the peak of sainthood. Respecting the divine was natural, but revering Yao Danshan. This was completely different from how the ancient clan typically reacted. Fool! Gu Tianyuan scolded. Indeed, the first elder of Tianqing added solemnly. That envoy is the divine's representative in this world, embodying the divine's very face. Regardless of whether he's a fellow saint or merely a common man, he deserves our respect. Interesting, the second elder of Tianqing said, narrowing his eyes and sneering. It appears that, apart from us old-timers, there are many within the ancient clan who are arrogant because of their strength and status. Humph. This unhealthy trend will be dealt with when we return, the third elder declared. He couldn't help but feel a sense of lingering fear. Had they sent other ancient clan powerhouses ahead, their arrogance might have offended the envoy. What a disaster that would have been. Catastrophic. Perhaps this was the start of the ancient clan's decline from prosperity, or even their ultimate downfall. Ling Huang, still dazed, led the way. As he stumbled forward, he felt a wave of relief wash over him. With this, he wouldn't have to worry about a conflict between the ancient clan and the divine. Arriving at Yao Lao's door, Gu Tianyuan himself knocked, announcing loudly, Gu Tianyuan, leader of the ancient clan, requests an audience with Master Yao. Enter, Yao Lao said. As the words faded, the door opened. As Gu Tianyuan stepped inside, his eyes widened. Master Yao, what are you? The others reacted similarly. Their cultivation was deeply connected to the natural world, granting them piercing sight. They instantly recognized that Yao Lao was in a state of disembodiment. However, his soul had solidified into a tangible form, as solid as a normal person. Not even an emperor's soul could achieve that. A gift from the divine, nothing special, Yao Lao said casually, stroking his gray beard, fully aware of the shock he was causing. Instead of addressing those present, he spoke aloud, chant after me. He closed his eyes and began to recite a prayer. Though he spoke quickly, his enunciation was precise, each word distinct. What is this? The third heavenly saint's eyelids twitched, utterly confused. He couldn't fathom what this bizarre being, with a soul materialized into a solid form, was doing. Gu Tianyuan pondered for a moment, glancing at Ling Huang, whose face was filled with fervor. Without hesitation, he sat cross-legged and began to chant along with Yao Lao. Intriguing. A multitude of thoughts raced through his mind. Gu Tianyuan turned to the three Tianqing elders and uttered two words, follow. Seeing the clan leader's command, the others ceased their hesitation. The four most powerful figures from the ancient clan closed their eyes and began to chant. Soon, the first recitation was complete. Gu Tianyuan's body trembled. A strange energy, from an unknown origin, flowed into him, enhancing his already formidable power. At that moment, he seemed to glimpse a series of endless heavenly palaces. He saw a powerful, unapproachable being, whose eyes shone like the sun and the moon. That being reigned supreme, surrounded by 3,000 Buddhas chanting sutras and prostrating before him. Each Buddha was terrifying, filled with chaotic energy, and their power surpassed even the ancient emperors recorded in the ancient clan's chronicles. In a daze, Gu Tianyuan saw a beautiful girl in green robes acting as a maid behind the majestic being, Suner. Faloo reminds you, 3 things about reading: save, recommend, and share. Support the original works of Faloo Novel Network, b.faloo.com, and enjoy all the original works. Chapter 69. You are listening at newcomers. Gu Tianyuan opened his eyes, meeting the gaze of those around him. Shock and awe were etched on their faces, they'd clearly witnessed the same incredible scene. Unbelievable. Gu Tianyuan paused, then turned to Yao Lao, whose expression remained serene. He bowed slightly. Mr. Yao, we too wish to become believers of this God. How does one join? Believers? Aren't you already? Yao Lao smiled faintly. Gu Tianyuan's pupils dilated. Already. When? The moment you recited the rites and prayed to God, you were accepted. Yao Lao's voice was gentle. What do you think belief entails? Giving up everything to serve the gods for life? Maybe some evil gods demand that, but not our God. Yao Lao's voice grew stronger. He is great and benevolent. Recite his name, chant the observances, that is enough. His grace will fall upon all who believe. I understand, Gu Tianyuan said after a long silence, clasping his palms together and bowing deeply to Yao Lao. Such fraternity, such tolerance, such majesty. He truly is worthy of being a god. That if Gu Tianyuan had initially wanted to join the faith out of fear of God's power, now he genuinely wanted to believe. By the way, Yao Lao said casually, promoting the faith and performing sacrifices can earn you even greater gifts from God. Even an opportunity like Miss Suner received, it's not impossible. Silence descended, the ancient tribe saint stared, hearts pounding. An opportunity like Suner, the original emperor's energy. To become the emperor, everyone knew, Gu Tianyuan, the ancient clan patriarch, had reached the pinnacle of the saint realm. It was said he lacked one crucial element to ascend. Now, that missing piece seemed within reach once more. Closing his eyes, Gu Tianyuan struggled to compose himself, but he couldn't. He'd pursued this for millennia. He'd resigned himself to his daughter becoming emperor, but she was still his daughter, a continuation of his life. Never had he imagined such a twist of fate. He'd given up, and the opportunity had returned. After careful consideration, Gu Tianyuan finally turned to the first elder of Tiansheng, his eyes sharp. Great elder, I order you to return to the ancient clan at once. Command every member of the tribe to recite the sacrificial texts and worship the gods. Yes. Second elder, travel to the various parts of Duki continent and instruct the dynasty forces loyal to the ancient clan to promote the sacrificial texts at all costs. Ensure that the people recite them, make them believers. Understood. Third elder, I appoint you inspector of the ancient clan. Test the spiritual state of our people, impress upon them the greatness and kindness of God towards our ancient race. I will not tolerate anyone reciting the rites while harboring disbelief, or even hatred, in their hearts. Gu Tianyuan paused, a flicker of inner conflict crossing his face. He steeled himself, forcing out the next words, if you find such a person, execute them according to clan law. No matter their rank or status, even if they possess the holy blood of our clan, they must die. Those who blaspheme shall perish. Don't worry. I'm well suited for this. The third elder's lips curled into a chilling smile. He was the ancient tribe's enforcer, known for his ruthless efficiency, and now he wielded supreme authority. The ancient clan was united in purpose. Everything would serve the goal of producing the next emperor. Watching the 3 elders depart, Yao Lao breathed a sigh of relief. His performance had been exhausting. Although still anxious, Yao Lao knew he'd done all he could. Even if it wasn't enough to secure the ranking, he'd accept it. As the 3 elders returned to the ancient world, the wave of change spread outward, starting from the ancient clan's power center, then encompassing the ancient clan's sphere of influence in Dochi continent. On Gu Tianyuan's orders, saint after saint tore through the void, descending from the ancient world to Gama city. awaiting the clan leader's orders. Over 30 ancient clan saints knelt, their voices resounding. Gu Tianyuan nodded slightly, then turned to Yao Lao, his tone gentle. I will entrust you with directing them to construct the altar, rest assured, Yao Lao replied, his brow furrowed almost imperceptibly, but he maintained composure and nodded slightly. A saint can create a small world. There exists a higher-level method of building an altar, using a small world as bricks. While the small world is not as good as the real world, it still has some charm. The quality of the altar built using this method can be considered to be mid-range, right? Gu Siming, the leader of the Imperial Guard and a fifth heaven saint, frowned slightly. He hesitated, then raised his head to address Gu Tianyuan. Clan leader, before we arrived, our intelligence agency sent a message. Something strange is happening with the Soul Clan. They are rapidly gathering their strongest members, even recalling those in the Soul Palaces throughout Dochi continent. Their target is suspected to be our location. And they're acting fanatical. Gu Tianyuan's eyes widened, his fist clenching and unclenching. Yes, he noticed something wrong here. Why wouldn't the Soul Clan, However, the Soul Clan probably doesn't know about God, Gu Tianyuan mused, narrowing his eyes. So, their frenzy stems from the belief that an ancient emperor is about to be born here? No, they really think that an emperor will be born, but they backed away instead. I see. Do you think the tomb of the emperor was revealed, that the original emperor energy might be hidden in the emperor's tomb? This is a necessity to become an emperor. The Soul Emperor God, the leader of the Soul Clan, seems to be the pinnacle of saints with his cultivation level. If they such a misunderstanding, resulting in madness, and even gathering all the strength, is a matter of course. Yao Lao thought deeply, his eyes suddenly brightening. He turned to Gu Tianyuan, his voice solemn. Patriarch Gu, a great opportunity lies before you. I only wonder if you possess the necessary ruthlessness. Speak, Gu Tianyuan replied, his expression turning grave. Sacrifices to gods are divided into living sacrifices and dead sacrifices. A living sacrifice is just like Miss Sunner. I am now certain that Miss Sunner must be the daughter of destiny. This kind of destined person is most loved by God. However, there are two difficulties. There is a high probability that there will be no second daughter of destiny in this world. It is even difficult to find a second-class person with great destiny. Yao Lao sighed, feigning regret, before his expression hardened once more. However, in addition to living sacrifices, there are also dead sacrifices. One particular form is the blood sacrifice. Slaughter your enemies. Offer the blood of the powerful to God. The more potent the blood, the more likely you are to gain God's favor. Imagine a moment when the ancient clan and even the dynasty forces in the ancient clan's circle of influence recited sacrificial rites together. We will sprinkle the blood of powerful enemies on the altar as a blood sacrifice. How pleased would God be then? Gu Tianyuan's eyes widened as he listened. He paused, then exclaimed, Gu Siming, Gu Siming, leader of the Imperial Guard, immediately knelt. Yes. Return and deliver my orders. Summon all the ancient clan's powerful warriors. Have them converge upon the Canaanite Empire, yes. Gu Siming's face showed a mix of worry, surprise, and other emotions. He wanted to object, but he swallowed his concerns and agreed with a grimace. His previous warning had been intended to urge Gu Tianyuan to avoid conflict. After all, an altar could be built anywhere, there was no need to confront the Soul Clan. They were one of the 8 great clans, mysterious. But Yao Lao's words had instead spurred them toward a bloody battle with the fanatical Soul Clan. After a pause, Gu Siming said, but... Well, I understand your apprehension, Gu Tianyuan said calmly. Therefore, once all the powerful individuals have departed the ancient world, activate the ancient emperor formation map and seal the border. I know this will require significant effort, but we need only endure until today. In the name of sacrifice to God, it is worth it. Chapter 70 You are listening at newcomers. Watching Gu Siming leave, Gu Tianyuan took a deep breath and turned to Yao Lao. Mr. Yao, he began, I need to understand this daughter of luck concept. If Sun'er is a daughter of destiny, are there likely to be others within our Gu clan? That Yao Lao noticed the eagerness in Gu Tianyuan's eyes, a look that almost suggested sacrificing a daughter for glory. He quickly dismissed the thought. This wasn't about mere glory, but about offering a daughter to a god, a far greater purpose. It's possible, Yao Lao replied, recalling the information from the sacrificial ceremony. His eyes lit up. I remember now, in the places where a destiny girl has spent a significant amount of time, there's a higher chance of finding other women bearing considerable fortune. Great! Gu Tianyuan exclaimed, excited. I'll look for those who were close to Sun'er when she was a child. Hold on, Yao Lao corrected. I'm talking about places where she's lived long-term. Your little girl left very young, so the odds are low that you'll find anyone suitable within the Gu clan. Yao Lao shook his head, his gaze intense. What about the Canaan Empire? Are there any exceptional women there, someone beautiful, talented, and of high status? I'll start the search immediately, Gu Tianyuan said solemnly. And they have to be willing, Yao Lao added. If they serve God unwillingly for 297 days, things could go south and create some serious issues. Gu Tianyuan agreed. With the Gu clan's resources, they swiftly identified several candidates who fit the description, Medusa, the snake queen of the desert. Yun Yun, the current sect leader of the Yunlan sect in the Canaan Empire, and her disciple Nailan Yen, the disciple being a later addition. Also, Yao Yi, a princess of the Canaan Empire's royal family. They found others too, but due to various reasons, they weren't considered reliable or willing, and were therefore dismissed. The 4 willing participants also had demands: protection for the snake people, allowing them to migrate to a suitable new home, and ensuring the Yunlan sect and the Nailan family continued to thrive, and strengthening the Canaan Empire. The Gu clan agreed to everything. In this world driven by power, there aren't many things the Gu clan can't do. Meanwhile, the Gu clan mobilized its full force, scouring the Canaan Empire and capturing every Soul clan member they found. They even apprehended saints. Some Gu clan members expressed concern, feeling this aggressive action would make the Soul clan a mortal enemy and spark a war. They feared that even the Gu clan, now invigorated by the emperor's bloodline, could be severely weakened or even destroyed, but under the orders of Gu Tianyuan and the 3 Tianqing elders, they had no choice but to obey. Finally, the appointed time arrived, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything's ready, Gu Tianyuan said gravely, bowing to Yao Lao beside him. Please. This is what I'm here for, Yao Lao replied with a nod. He walked toward the altar. 4 women stood upon it, all exquisitely dressed. Though composed, their eyes betrayed anxiety. Oh God, Medusa sighed softly, her emotions mixed. She felt anticipation, but also worry and uncertainty about the future. She had personally witnessed God's appearance not long ago, but she didn't actually believe in God, or think she would ever interact with them. But here she was, recently, a group of beings so powerful they were terrifying had invaded the snake people's territory. The leader was a saint. Medusa was only an emperor and had never even seen a sect, let alone a saint. She had thought the snake people were doomed. Fortunately, the saint didn't want to destroy them. After explaining everything, she agreed without hesitation. If she willingly served God, the snake people would be protected by the Gu clan. If she refused, who knew if the saint would lash out and destroy them? Even if the saint showed kindness, could she really trust them? She had seen too much deceit to believe anyone's promises. Master, Nailan Yen said, a little nervous, but mostly excited. She didn't overthink things like Medusa. Serving God was something she'd only read about in myths. If she could ascend to the divine realm, she might live forever. Besides, this arrangement would take care of her family for the rest of their lives. Yao Yi remained silent, quietly observing the scene, seemingly lost in thought. The sacrifice begins. Offer the sacrifices. Yao Lao announced suddenly. Immediately, a Gu clan saint brought forward all the captured Soul clan members. 8 Soul clan saints and 230 Soul clan venerables have been brought, the third elder of Tianqing announced, descending from the sky. He held a slender tang sword and wore a ferocious grin. Kill! Yao Lao commanded. The third elder of Tianqing raised his sword and struck, and a soul saint fell. The second soul saint saw the third elder approaching and his eyes widened in fury. Gu clan! He roared. You're arrogant and cruel. Our patriarch will avenge us. You'll all die. Ha 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 ha, you'll pay dearly. You have no idea who you're messing with, or the true power of the Soul clan. But the third elder of Tianqing remained silent and struck again. After that, the captured Soul clan members cursed, begged for mercy, and cried, but he showed no pity, killing them one by one. He'd long disliked these Soul clan brats. The Soul clan, especially those from the Soul Palace, were evil, responsible for the deaths of countless innocent people. And after they died, they stole their souls. Normally, since the Soul clan was so powerful, he had to ignore their actions. But now, with legal permission to kill them, he wouldn't show any mercy. The altar was covered in blood, the 4 women on the other side of the altar paled. Nailan Yen, who had been so excited before, now clung tightly to her master Yun Yun's robes, trembling. Now, offer sacrifices to God. Yao Lao proclaimed, his face glowing with fervor. He began to recite the sacrificial inscriptions loudly. Gu Tianyuan seemed to receive some kind of signal. He closed his eyes and joined in, reciting the inscriptions. Not only him, but hundreds of powerful Gu clan members present, Gu clan members throughout the Gu world, and people from powerful empires under the Gu clan's influence across the Duki continent, all recited the sacrificial inscriptions. The altar trembled, emitting a dazzling light as if vast worlds were unfolding one after another. No, it wasn't as if at all. Medusa's pupils dilated as she realized, one world was superimposed upon another within this altar. What exactly was this? What an incredible power! She couldn't even begin to comprehend it, and such a magnificent display was simply an altar used to worship a god. The status of that god must be unimaginably lofty.